Hello, my most precious, deeply cherished family. Welcome back to Mr. Harry Stories, where hearts don't just break, they heal, slowly, together. Sometimes I pause in the middle of my day and whisper your names in my heart. Not because I see you, but because I feel you. You're not just viewers, you're a part of my soul, a soft echo in every heartbeat, a flicker of light in the darkest night. I don't care about numbers, I care about hearts. When I ask for a like or a comment, it's not to feed an algorithm, it's because I want to feel you near me, even from miles away. Because in this corner of the internet, we don't just watch stories, we live them together. So today, if even one line touches you, if even one sentence feels like it was written for your soul, just whisper in the comments, "You are not forgotten." Because when you say that, you're not just lifting me, you're lifting someone else who's reading and silently breaking. This story is about coming home to find nothing the way you left it. It's about a man who survived bullets and blood, but was completely unprepared for silence. A soldier who came back from war only to discover that the love of his life had already said goodbye. But she left him something, a letter. And in that letter, the war finally ended. This isn't just a story. It's a reminder that sometimes even death can't silence love. That the people we lose don't really leave. They just find new ways to stay. So sit with me now. Close the door to the noise outside. And let me take you to the day he came home. Not to celebration, but to something far more sacred. The plane touched down just after sunset. Captain Adam Reid sat by the window, uniform crisp, eyes hollow. He hadn't slept in 40 hours, but his heart was pounding, not from exhaustion, not from war, but from hope. He was going home. 2 years of dust, blood, and silence. 2 years of letters back and forth with his wife, Emily. She had sent him videos of their little garden, the new paint on the porch. He had promised her, "When I come back, we'll start fresh. Just you and me. I'll never leave again." He clutched a bouquet of white lilies, her favorite. He'd ordered them from the florist on the base before boarding the flight. They were slightly crushed now, but he didn't care. She'd smile anyway, she always did. As passengers filed out around him, Adam waited. He needed a moment. Just one. To breathe in this return, to whisper to himself, "You made it." But as he stepped into the arrivals terminal, he felt it, that something was off. No one was waiting, not her smile, not her arms, not her. The crowd parted, balloons and families reunited, soldiers kissed, children screamed, "Daddy!" Adam stood still. Maybe she's late, he thought, maybe traffic, maybe she's surprising me. He called her phone, no answer, he tried again, voicemail. He forced a smile to the cab driver outside. "Let's go home," he said. "Same address." The drive was long, the city passed in silence. His palms sweated against the paper wrapping of the lilies. When they pulled up to his house, his heart leapt. The porch light was off, no decorations, no welcome home banner, just stillness. He walked up the steps. The door was locked. He used his key. Inside, the house smelled old, unlived in, dust on the dining table, her favorite blue sweater on the couch, mail stacked neatly on the kitchen counter, one envelope on top addressed to him in her handwriting. He called out, "Emily?" Nothing. Again, louder. I'm home." No footsteps, no reply, just the hum of the refrigerator and the ticking of the wall clock. Then, a soft knock on the door. He opened it to find Mrs. Halbrook, their neighbor of 10 years. She looked at him with such sorrow in her eyes that his heart began to race. "Adam?" she whispered. "I thought they told you. I'm so sorry." He stared at her, unblinking. "Told me what?" She reached into her purse with trembling hands and held out a small white box. She left this for you before she—" The word didn't come, but Adam already knew. The lilies dropped from his hands, petals scattering across the welcome mat. Rain began to fall, soft, slow, like the sky itself was grieving. His knees hit the porch, the box in his hands now heavy like stone. "She didn't suffer," Mrs. Halbrook whispered. "It was instant. A car. Drunk driver, 6 weeks ago." Adam didn't respond. He couldn't. Everything in him shattered. Everything in him screamed, not on the battlefield, not to a bullet, not to an enemy, but here, at home, in the silence. He had lost her. The porch light flickered once, then went dark. Still clutching the box, he curled into himself. The war wasn't over. It had just begun. Adam didn't open the box that night. He placed it gently on the living room table, the same table where she used to drink her morning coffee, where they once lit candles on anniversary nights. The lilies were still on the porch, soaked through and wilted. He couldn't bring himself to pick them up. It felt wrong, like touching them would confirm she was really gone. The house, their home, was heavy now, not with noise, but with memories. He wandered from room to room in his uniform, not knowing why, just touching her things. Her book left open on the nightstand, her cardigan draped on the armchair, a half-burnt candle with a scent that clung to him like a whisper, lavender and lemon. At one point, he sat on the floor beside the couch and cried until morning. He didn't eat, he didn't call anyone. He slept with her pillow pressed to his chest like it could bring her back. And the box stayed closed. On the 5th day, something changed. He stood in the hallway staring at the wedding photo hanging on the wall. She was laughing in it, head tilted, eyes bright. He remembered that moment. He had whispered something silly to make her laugh, right as the photographer clicked. He placed his hand on the frame. "I came back for you," he whispered, "and you're not here." It was then he turned to the box. Hands trembling, breath shallow, he untied the white ribbon. Inside was a handwritten envelope, on the front, in her soft looping cursive, "For when you return." He hesitated, then opened it. Her voice filled the room, not literally, but it might as well have been. "My brave love, if you're reading this, then you came home, and I didn't. And that truth breaks my heart more than you will ever know." He sank onto the couch, the letter shaking in his hands. "I didn't want to leave you. God knows I fought to stay. But if this is how it ends, I need you to know my love for you didn't die with me. You survived a war, and now you're facing a different one that's silent and cruel and tries to convince you that you're alone. But you're not." Adam wiped his eyes with his sleeve, reading each line like it was the last breath he'd ever take. "I left you something that might help you find your way again. Go to the cabin, the one we stayed in on our honeymoon. The key is in this box. You'll know what to do once you're there." At the bottom of the box was a small brass key wrapped in a ribbon. There was also a photo, a picture of them standing by the lake near the cabin, her head on his shoulder, his arm around her waist. They looked young, untouched by war or tragedy, just love. Her letter ended with a single request. "Promise me one thing. Don't let the grief harden you. Let it shape you. Let it soften the parts of you that the battlefield tried to break. I want you to live, not just breathe, but live. And if you find joy again, let it in. Because I'll be in every sunrise, in every laugh, in every good thing that still finds its way to you." Adam folded the letter and pressed it to his chest. And for the first time in 5 days, he stood up with purpose. He packed a small bag, grabbed his truck keys, and with the photo in his wallet and the letter in his coat pocket, he drove toward the cabin, toward her final gift, toward something he wasn't sure he was ready for, but desperately needed. The road to the cabin felt longer than he remembered. Maybe it was the snow, thick, white silence blanketing the world. Or maybe it was the weight in his chest, sitting heavier with each passing mile. Adam hadn't been here in years, not since that honeymoon week when everything was new. New marriage, new laughter, new dreams. Now it felt like he was driving toward a grave, and somehow also toward a resurrection. When he turned off the highway and onto the gravel path, the tires crackled beneath him. The cabin appeared through the trees like a memory. Weathered, still, just as they left it. The porch light flickered, his hands froze on the wheel. She had rigged it to solar power the last time they visited. "In case we come here after dark one day," she had said, always thinking ahead, always thinking of him. He stepped out, snow crunching under his boots. The cold bit through his coat, but he barely noticed. Unlocking the door with the brass key, he pushed it open. The warmth of cedar walls, the faint scent of old books and firewood, everything was untouched. A note lay on the small wooden table near the fireplace. "You made it. Good. Go to the attic." Her handwriting again, elegant, deliberate. He climbed the creaking stairs slowly, almost afraid of what waited. The attic was dim. Dust danced in the shafts of light, breaking through the old wooden beams. In the corner, a large wooden chest covered with a red quilt. He lifted the lid. Inside, dozens of videotapes, each labeled carefully. Day 1, when you need a reason to stay. Day 2, when the nightmares come. Day 10, when the world feels too quiet. Day 30, when you're ready to laugh again. And on top of them all, a sticky note that read, "Start with this one." He slid the tape into the old player tucked beside the chest. The screen blinked to life. And there she was, Emily, sitting on their living room couch, a soft blue sweater, barefoot, hair pulled back, smiling. "Hi, love," she said, her voice soft, cracking just slightly. "So, if you're watching this, it means I'm not sitting beside you anymore. But don't think for one second that I'm not still with you." Adam sank to the attic floor, heart pounding. "I recorded these because I knew you'd need help, because I knew the silence would be the loudest part of all this. So here's the deal." She leaned closer, eyes full of that stubborn light she always had. "1 video a day, don't skip ahead, don't cheat. Let me walk you through this, okay?" He nodded, whispering back to her, "Okay. Today I just want you to breathe." She closed her eyes on the screen and inhaled slowly. In through the nose, hold, out through the mouth. "Do it with me." Adam obeyed, tears slipping silently down his face. "Good. See, we're already doing better." The video ended after just a few minutes, but it had done something he hadn't thought possible. It had made the silence feel less cruel. He looked at the tapes again, lined up like a map through grief. His hands trembled, but his heart, it fluttered. Just a little. He stayed in the attic that night, wrapped in the red quilt she had placed over the chest. And for the first time in days, he slept. In the morning, he made coffee, lit the fire, watched Day 2. She was in the kitchen this time. "You're probably not sleeping, that's okay. We'll work on that together." She shared stories, made him laugh, told him not to shave because she always secretly liked the scruff, told him to eat something, even if it's just toast and peanut butter. It felt like time travel, like stolen minutes from a life that should have lasted longer. Each day, he watched a new tape. And each day, a little more of him returned. He chopped wood, repaired the fence, took long walks in the snow. He even started writing again, short thoughts in a notebook, things he wished he had said, things he knew she'd want him to remember. The grief was still there, but now it had a companion, her voice, guiding him home. Snow gave way to thaw. In the mornings, Adam would step outside the cabin with a steaming mug of coffee, watch the sun melt frost off the pines, and feel something stir in him. Not joy, not yet, but something like breathing. It had been 2 weeks since he arrived. Each morning began the same, stoking the fire, making toast the way she liked it, burnt just slightly, then sitting with the next tape. His ritual, his lifeline. Each one was a masterpiece of care. In one, she showed him how to stretch before bed. Helps with the war aches, she joked, imitating his stiff soldier walk. In another, she played their favorite song on the piano, badly, stopping midway to laugh at herself. Told you I should have taken lessons. There was one where she cried. Her hands twisted in her lap, her eyes rimmed red. I had a bad day today. I'm scared, Adam. But then I remembered how you held me that night after my dad died. How you didn't say a word, you just held me while I broke, so I'm going to pretend you're holding me now. And I want you to do the same. When it's your turn to break, don't hold back, let it shatter. I'll still be there in the pieces. Adam couldn't hold back that night. He screamed into the woods. He cursed the timing, the universe, the war, the driver, the doctor. Then he fell to his knees in the snow and whispered, I miss you so much. The wind rustled through the trees like an answer. He returned inside and watched another tape. Good, let it out. That's what love does. It makes room for the breaking and the rebuilding. She had thought of everything. One tape guided him through cooking their favorite meal. One was just her reading poetry, her voice wrapping around words like silk. But the one that broke him most was when she spoke about their future children. They'd tried for 2 years. She had names picked out. If it happens one day, promise me you'll tell them about me. Tell them I loved sunflowers, bad coffee, and one man so deeply it changed the shape of my soul. He wept with the tape playing, alone on the floor, surrounded by silence, except her voice, eternal in the room. But the next morning, he did something he hadn't done since returning. He smiled. Just for a moment. Just a flicker. It happened when he found her letter tucked into one of the tapes. A small, handwritten page. I know this is a lot, but if I could leave you anything more than words, it would be the memory of laughter, of silliness. So here's a list of things I want you to do, even if it feels stupid. Dance in the living room with no music. Talk to the stars like I'm listening. Carve a heart into a tree with our initials. Yes, like teenagers, make friends again. Let someone in. Forgive yourself. At the bottom, in tiny, scribbled ink, P.S. There's a tape for when you're ready to go home. Not yet, but one day. He didn't watch that one. Not yet. Instead, he opened the windows to let in spring air. He shaved, cleaned, hung their wedding photo over the fireplace. He even carved that heart into the oak tree behind the cabin, just like she asked. One day, while walking by the lake, he sat on the bench where she once laid her head in his lap. And for the first time he talked back, out loud, told her about the birds returning, the deer tracks near the porch, the firewood he chopped in half the time this year. He said her name, not like a prayer, not like a question, but like a promise. I'm still yours, and I'm still here. That night, he lit a candle by the window and whispered, thank you, to the sky. And somewhere inside him, he began to believe she heard him. It had been 40 days since Adam first arrived at the cabin, since her voice started stitching his soul back together, one video at a time. He had learned how to live in the quiet, how to cry without shame, how to breathe again without guilt. But he hadn't watched the last tape. Not yet. It sat at the bottom of the chest, wrapped in a blue cloth that smelled faintly of her perfume. Labeled only, when you're ready. He had seen it every morning when he opened the chest, always reaching past it, never touching it. Until now. Something in the wind that morning had changed. Maybe it was the warmth of spring finally arriving. Maybe it was the birdsong, louder than before. Maybe it was just time. Adam placed the tape into the player with careful hands, as if it might break under the weight of goodbye. He sat down and pressed play. The screen flickered. Then, there she was. But this time, she looked different. No makeup, no soft sweater, no piano music in the background. She was in a hospital gown, her hair mostly gone, a blanket pulled up around her shoulders. She looked tired, but her eyes, those fierce, bright eyes, still held light. "Hey, love," she whispered. "This is my last one." Adam leaned forward, his chest aching. "I debated whether to even record this. I thought maybe the others would be enough, but then I thought about that stubborn face of yours, and I knew you'd still need me. One more time." She laughed softly. It was weak, but real. "By the time you see this, I hope you've screamed. I hope you've sobbed. I hope you've walked through the storm and let it drench you. And I hope you've let the sun touch your skin again." She paused, looked down, her voice trembled. "I wanted to tell you, but I couldn't. I didn't want you worrying thousands of miles away. I wanted you focused, safe, alive. So I made a choice. To fight this quietly, and to love you loudly until the very end." Adam covered his mouth. His breath came in shallow bursts. "I wasn't afraid to die," she said, "but I was afraid to leave you behind." She leaned closer to the camera, as if trying to reach through it. "You are the best thing that ever happened to me. You were home, every laugh, every touch, every dumb joke we shared. All of it was my favorite life." Tears streamed freely down Adam's face now. "And I want you to promise me something." She inhaled slowly, steady, composed. "Promise me you'll let your heart love again one day. Not because I'm replaceable, but because love, real love, is never used up. It just changes form. Let someone hold your hand when you miss me. Let someone make you laugh when you want to cry. Let someone fall in love with the parts of you that still remember me. That's not betrayal, that's legacy." She smiled, tears sliding down her own cheeks. "You survived a war, Adam. Don't lose the battle now. Live, fully, widely, wildly. Because I'll be in the wind, in the firelight, in every good thing that still comes your way. And when you finally fall in love again, I'll be clapping for you from the other side of the stars." She blew a kiss toward the camera. "Until we meet again. My brave, stubborn love. Goodbye." The screen went dark. Adam didn't move for a long time. The cabin was silent. Even the wind had gone still, as if the whole world paused to let the grief land. He pressed his forehead to the wooden floor and wept, not just for her death, but for the unbearable beauty of the love she had left behind. But when he finally stood, there was something different in him. Not just grief, but grace. That night, he lit a fire, and beside it, he placed her photo, her wedding ring, and a fresh white lily. He whispered, "Thank you," once more, not just for the love she gave him, but for the courage she gifted him to go on living. The final tape hadn't broken him. It had freed him. If you're still here, still breathing through this moment with me, I want you to know something. Grief is not the end of the story. It's just the part where we learn how to keep loving differently. Because even after the last tape played, Captain Adam's journey didn't end, it began again. And what came next wasn't just survival, it was rebirth, a new life, one built from ashes, but blooming with purpose. If you want to hear the next part of this story, if you want to see how Adam finds light again, how love returns in the most unexpected way, then comment below. I'm ready for the new life. And if these stories speak to your heart, if they help you breathe a little deeper, cry a little softer, or hope a little harder, then please subscribe to Mr. Harry's Stories, because here, every story is a heartbeat, and you're never alone.